be free. I take the weight on my shoulders. I feel the sky come down on me, and I can't hold it much longer. Gotta let go so I can be free. Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
FG Live All-Star Takeover continues from Seattle. Scott Braun, AJ Pierzynski, Erik Kratz, Jason Kipnis. Is my voice a little deeper?
It's not deeper. It's craggly.
Scratchier.
Yeah.
Scratchier?
Yeah.
It's
How's this?
scratching.
How's this?
I mean, say it with your chest.
Welcome, everyone. We continue our coverage here in Seattle. We're live for hours today. Hello to the stadium fam. We see you. We hear you. We'll get to some polls later, too. Guest list includes Ryan Dempster joining us soon. There's a couple special guests I can't tell you yet because we're still waiting to see if they're definitely coming. Russ Dorsey, our dude, coming through. Alex Fast, who we had on the show many months ago at this point, does a great job breaking down pitching specifically. He'll join us as well. So many people swinging by. How's everyone feeling?
I'm
Get some
feeling
sleep?
great. You guys
Feel
stayed
good?
out late.
I'm great. I feel incredible.
I mean, you guys were the ones that were clubbing all night.
The MLB Players Party.
Yeah.
They did a great job.
They did.
We're at
Food
the
was
Players
great, and
House. Thank you for hosting us here.
Food was great, and then I left.
top
You
notch.
guys stayed for the music. I went back.
Jack Harlow and Fat Joe. I stayed for the vibes and just the people. We had great conversations last night. You saw how many people that you know in the game that you played with.
Ran into a lot of old friends. It was
Yeah.
a good time.
How many? Name drop some players that were there that you guys talked to.
Saw Granderson,
Uh-huh.
but Chicago guy who I used to hit with, so that was fun. CC was there.
Ryan Howard.
I didn't see him.
He wasn't there.
I didn't see Big Piece, no.
I thought you guys were talking about him. Or you were just saying,
Big Piece. No, he was at the field. He
Yeah, I
was
saw
doing
him
a
at the
celebrity
home
home
run
run derby.
oh, at the Derby. Whit Merrifield, I talked to for a while.
hit
Plouffe
Whit.
was there. The John
Plouffe.
Boy crew.
Brandon Morrow.
Brandon Morrow.
Brandon Morrow.
Your
Haven't
dude,
seen him
Tuffy
in a minute.
Ghostwitch.
That's
Oh,
who it
I
was.
saw
I couldn't
Tuffy all
remember
the
the
time.
name.
Tuffy
Brandon
Ghostwitch.
Morrow.
I was like,
I don't know
I
who
was
that is.
staring
I
at
mean, I
him.
know he's a player.
You didn't meet Tuffy?
When?
I talked to Tuffy for a while last night.
Yeah.
Everybody saw Tuffy.
Yeah.
I didn't.
He was probably trying to avoid you. He told me he didn't like you.
Good. I don't even know who he is, so
It's
that
not
makes us
true.
even.
He's in your fraternity.
He loves
I know he's a catcher.
Fellow catcher.
See, you know who he is.
I
Don't-
mean,
don't
Come
try
on.
to-
Come
try
on.
to be- I don't even know who
I
he
mean, I
is.
know who he is. I know
Yeah.
the name. If you have a name like that,
He loves
you know
you.
who he is.
Um,
You're actually his hero.
Player-wise, I mean, Julio's there, and Randy, and Pete, and a lot of dudes there. So it was great.
Rutchley, Kyle Tucker,
Yep.
Rutschman, Adley.
So a lot of things to get to. Number one, tonight we'll be watching the game itself with a YouTube live stream, talking to you we have like 7 or 8 guests that'll join us throughout the day there. And most importantly, does anyone know what today is? I know obviously the
Tuesday?
All-Star game.
It's Tuesday.
No, you can say it.
I know.
Come
My
on.
book goes on sale.
Say it with your chest, baby. Let's go.
Tal. That was the biggest ovation I've got in my entire career. Thank you. The Tao of the backup catcher goes on sale today. We're going to bust these sales wide open today. Put this, John, right on the New York Times bestseller list.
Yes.
Because if we don't, the author, I'm not the author, I'm just one of the people that helped in the book. If we don't, the author that actually wrote it, his first 2 books, Tim Brown, he wrote Rick Ankiel's book, I think it's called Phenomenon or Phenom or something like that, and then Jim Abbott's book also. They were both New York Times bestsellers, so pretty much he's a New York Times bestseller author. I better not screw this up. His words, not mine. Tim's words, not mine.
So he's like 2 for 2 on
He's
bestsellers?
2 for 2.
Oh, shit.
What's considered a bestseller? You just like make like the top 100 list, or you have to like make like the
I
number
don't know
one
the
list?
criteria, but I know this first week of sales is where it all lands. So Tuesday to Saturday sales, let's go.
Is it like Nielsen ratings where no one actually knows how it works and no one's ever met someone that has one of those boxes?
I'm sure they know. I'm sure the people that are in charge, the publishers.
Yep.
The publishers are so smart. Like, obviously, it's their.
Is
it's
it like
their
what's
realm.
more complicated, the bestseller list number or wins above
Or
replacement?
war?
Yeah.
War for sure.
War. Okay.
Because
Got it.
they seem locked in. Like, I have like 9 radio and 3 podcasts a day. Tim Brown is doing like he literally has like 20 that he's doing today, from like kids in their basement that are going to probably sell 3 books, and 2 is to their mom and their dad, and to like he's going on the Morning Joe on, I think it's MSNBC or something like that, and I get to do something on the MLB Network. So it's cool. There's an excerpt of one of the chapters right now in The Athletic.
Yes.
So
I saw that come
appreciate
out.
Ken hooking us up with Sarah over there at the Athletic. It's just been a cool community of baseball fans and baseball people that have helped promote this book. And honestly, like that's what this book is. Like it's the fact that, to me, a completely average player got an opportunity to play parts of 11 years, 6 years of service in the big leagues, which I never thought would have been possible. I hoped. But once you get there, you're like, holy crap, it's really tough to do. And so it's a cool story, not just about me, but about other backup catchers. Josh Tolley, guys you haven't heard of from the minor leagues, Tim Flannery, like just a bunch of dudes that are backup catchers that these starters like AJ would
Get no
somehow
respect.
Never really like.
I was a backup for like a week.
He was never a backup, and he hated that 1 week.
No, I didn't.
That'll
I
be the
was
title
loving
of
it.
AJ's
It was
book
great.
one day.
I'm like,
I was
this
a backup
one game
for
a
a
week
week.
stuff is nice,
It was
man.
awful.
We enjoyed,
I only gotta-
the private reading of that excerpt last night.
Yes.
The one chapter. I enjoyed it very much.
Oh, good. I'm glad. we
I'm still frustrated there's no pictures in the middle of it that we talked about.
Kip was hoping there was going to be pictures, and I was going to do like a read along. I was going to do a read along where I read a page, and then I turned it around and like showed everybody.
We should do a YouTube live stream of that.
of the read.
Sit
Yes.
Indian style,
You'd
just
be
have
surprised.
him read it to us.
Crisscross
Sometimes.
applesauce.
Yeah.
One more thing. So,
Guardian style.
audiobook, will there be one? I'm putting you on
There
the
will
spot
be.
on stuff.
There will be.
Can you
don't
voice
read
it?
though.
I don't voice it. I'm
No.
super disappointed. 12.
Why? You should
12
voice
is the
it.
publisher of the book. That's the company called 12. I wasn't on the list. There's 3 people that they like auditioned for it. So maybe we'll do like a
Read along.
one of one read along.
Yes, I'm into it.
Can't read.
We'll figure that's going to be the issue.
Well.
A live read along? Ay.
It's happening.
I like
Stay
it.
tuned.
I like
Sound it out.
Bad.
Okay, so let's charge the damn mound. And also, today's show and tonight as well, all sponsored by Xbox Live. Home Run Derby. Cool. Biggest part that stood out for me, Julio Rodriguez going gangbusters in the first inning or the first round with more homers than we've seen in any round in Derby history. 41 of them. I just wish, Kip, that they could like carry it over.
You got to be exhausted. We were talking about it up there. We were getting tired just watching these guys, but there were tons of cool moments last night. It was a really solid derby. The Adley switching sides is awesome. The Julio's round, the crowd was probably the loudest it was all night. Just where Vlad and them were putting the baseball to. That's what you come to see, though, at a derby.
Julio was the show.
Yeah.
In the first round. And then it kind of petered out because you could tell with Julio's swing, he could, by the next round, he was like, by the time he got to the end, it was like,
Newspaper.
it was, but the thing is, it's such rapid fire, too. There's no breaks. And yeah, they get a timeout, but it's not a long enough timeout where you can actually catch your breath. These dudes were exhausted after the first round. I was like, man, we made it through the first round. Oh, wait, we got to do this again? And then we got to do it another time? That's where it catches up to you. It's not the first round. Yeah, the first round, but then you get that break. And that's when everyone just goes.
Did you see Mookie Betts didn't even take a timeout? They were like, why didn't you use your timeout? He's like, wouldn't have helped.
I'm good.
Yeah.
It was hilarious.
He wasn't good. He knew. It's cool that he did it, though.
Yeah.
It was like another thing that he tried to do. But had the hype man not been hyping up Julio and it wasn't in Seattle, wasn't Adley Rutschman the star of the first round?
Well, when he switched hit and he hit right into the last, that was cool.
That's so awesome. And I hope it's not because he something was hurting left-handed.
No.
He just it's an absolute
do it.
flex. He can do it.
He hit a homer left-handed first swing and right-handed first swing, which is pretty awesome.
Crazy. That is crazy. And Adley Rutschman, you can see him. Kids download the videos of him being on with, the baseball bat bros and stuff like that, trying out different bats. And hitting dingers. Now he just does it on the biggest stage in the world for home run derby, and he was smashing the ball.
How do you think they feel today or this morning waking up? And with the new format where it's timed and that many swings, it's got to affect them more than the old 10-out rule, the way they did it before.
You know what I think the biggest thing is? Talking to a lot of players and especially agents really last night, the schedule that some of the players are on. Julio obviously is on another planet here because it's his hometown. But a lot of the dudes were saying they had to get up at like 5-something this morning, and they're at like a party last night. It's an aggressive schedule too. So yeah, physically, but also how about almost no sleep, and then
Should
you're
be a
gonna do
longer
all this
break.
stuff today.
Should be a longer All-Star break.
Longer All-Star break, or how about like maybe shave 1 or 2 things off? I looked at some of the schedules for the players that were like built mostly by the league, and I'm like, is this real?
Yeah.
Well, the
It was
problem is
ridiculous.
though, also is the game is early. It's not like
Yes.
7 or 8 o'clock. So you back it up 3 hours. So that 6 o'clock would be 9 o'clock. So that would be some more sleep, right?
Yep.
So it's just because
Guess
on the
what?
West Coast.
Well, guess what? Like maybe the handing out the ring, or there's some stuff in the morning, or the carpet. Like maybe you make some adjustments when it's on the West Coast.
Yeah.
I know it sounds crazy, but if you're doing everything 3 hours early, I mean, you guys tell me. Like you
They
played
try
the
to.
All-Star game.
They would. Teams kind of look into it when you should get up or when you should go to bed and how you should sleep. I think sleep became a big thing for teams to focus on probably the last 5 years, 10 years maybe. So especially when you go to a West Coast, they want you either to set your alarm maybe a few hours early, or they're allowing you to sleep in a little bit later, and they'll adjust the schedule accordingly.
Okay. For me, with the Derby too, Polar Bear
They had
going
no
up
chance.
against Julio.
Yeah.
So here's the thing also with Julio. I think he had a better shot to win it if he got to go second. Because if Polar Bear put together a 20-something, Julio's not hitting 40-something. They stop, right?
Yeah.
So, I don't remember what was Pete at. It was 20-something. And then he'd go one over, and he would save himself 20-something swings, homer swings. That's a lot. So
yeah,
for
but
me,
Pete was done. We had this conversation at the Derby. Would you rather go first or second? And I said, you want to go first
why?
because if you go first, you put a number up. But if you go second, because the problem is if you go second, you're Pete, and you just saw Julio Rodriguez hit 41 homers, guess what? You're pressing. I mean, you could tell by his swings, he was like, I got to hit every ball out. And then, I mean, we're going to get into it. I don't know if we're going to get into it here, but his pitcher struggled.
Yeah.
His pitcher struggled. Like,
Yeah.
he was throwing it down and away, and Pete was, like, swinging and missing because he knew he had to swing at every pitch. But some of those pitches, and then you watched Julio's, because we were standing right behind home plate, every pitch was in the same spot. It was like in, a little bit up and in. Every pitch was in the same spot. Boom, boom. And you're just like, oh, he's going to win. Because the pitcher, it comes down to the pitcher a lot of times. Like, can the pitcher work fast enough and throw enough strikes in the same spot? But the pitchers get tired, too. It looked like Pete's pitcher got tired.
Pete's
too.
pitcher also was a replacement. You saw that news?
I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. You talk, and I'll bring up the news.
Well,
I'll find it.
Rushman's dad was also wasn't he wearing a glove?
Yeah.
And just holding one ball at a time? So, like, the other pitchers were holding 3 at a time and would be able to rapid fire while he's just kind of one it off. So, I mean, people don't realize how much those pitchers actually play a part in who wins the Derby.
Totally. The Vlad's pitcher, my first roommate, one of our guests early in the season, John Schneider.
He puts it right there.
He is money.
Yeah.
Ex-catcher BP. I'm sure AJ's, we've talked about this. You got great BP. Like, he is, but he's been thrown to Vlad for years. He flew in for this. Vlad flew him in on the PJ for this. He's leaving. He's already out to the 6. He's flying back to the 6 right now.
It's a good day of work.
It's a good day at work, and it's something that
does
is
he,
tough.
Does he take care of him, though?
Yes, he does.
Okay. I was going to say.
He did. Yeah.
I mean, he
So-
won, what, $1 million? I
They've gone way back.
Is that what the
So
pot was?
He came up
think
through
it was $1 million.
$1 million
isn't it?
for the winner. Appreciate
That's
it.
Yes.
trying to get all the big guys in then.
They're
Yeah,
trying to.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Trying.
I'll tell you for the Derby. So for Pete, his former Tampa travel ball coach, Mike Friedling, developed a forearm issue and wasn't his pitcher last night. That was the dude he was practicing with at BP. So it was a BP thrower filling in. We watched some of the broadcasts, and we were obviously at the game too, so I couldn't hear everything they were saying. But Hey, that matters. You lost your pitcher. They're just as
Totally
important.
matters.
So.
Pete was candy popping up every ball.
Yep.
He was, you never see that.
Hey, we're swinging right back on Stadium, and we'll show you a little poll question when we return too.
Today is July 11th, and here's a few things that happened on this day in baseball history. First, we rewind to 1914. That's when a promising young hurler named Babe Ruth made his major league debut with the Boston Red Sox. His first game was a 4-3 victory over Cleveland, but his first at-bat didn't go so smoothly. He struck out. Someone told me he ended up having a pretty solid career, though. Next, let's head to 1976 for a rather unique event at Atlanta Fulton County Stadium. Before the Braves played the Mets, 34 couples tied the knot at home plate in an event billed as Headlocks and Wedlocks. The ceremony was followed by championship wrestling, and then the Braves managed to pin a 9-8 loss on the New York Mets. Fast forward to 1985. Pitching great Nolan Ryan of the Houston Astros becomes the first player to amass 4,000 career strikeouts. The unlucky batter was Danny Heap of the Mets, and although Ryan finished with 11 strikeouts in 7 innings, he didn't get the decision in the Astros' 4-3 victory. Nolan Ryan remains the all-time leader in career strikeouts with an amazing 5,714. Finally, on this day in 1989, baseball fans witnessed an all-star game spectacle. Bo Jackson and Wade Boggs kicked off the bottom of the first inning with back-to-back home runs, setting the tone for the American League's 5-3 victory. Bo Jackson's performance in the game earned him the All-Star Game's MVP award. And that's it for this day in baseball history. Enjoy the All-Star Game, and we'll be watching live with you on a very special Foul Territory watch party.
And now back to foul.
FT Live is back. We're on Stadium. Kipnis, Kratz, Pierzynski, Braun. First poll question of the day. If you want to get involved, QR code on your screen or go to watchstadium.com/foul territory. The MVP of this year's All-Star Game will be Acuna, Ohtani, Betts, Arozarena, or someone else. So give it a vote. We'll see what happens. And it is time to pop off. Presented by Cookie Pop on the desk. How you doing? AJ will eat the bag later. And you're going to start us off here. So we're talking Derby again. Let's get into the entertainment product, both in stadium and on TV. What's wrong?
Well, first of all, before we get into this, I want to say I hope the kid that got hit in the head, I don't know if anyone saw that, is okay.
Yep.
That's
It
scary.
was 115, and I've always wondered, like, how is this not target practice for – because it's awful. There's just kids everywhere, and there's balls flying everywhere, so I hope whoever that kid
Almost
was
surprising
is
it doesn't happen more often.
You're right.
Well, especially with this format, which he'll get into, but with this format, because there's so many balls going so quickly into the outfield, it's dangerous.
Yeah. It's like snowball fights, or for
Yeah,
AJ,
ball-
air, water balloons. Lob it up, and you're like, oh, I got it, and then just buzz
one's already
another,
coming.
buzz
Another
another
one's coming.
and that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And then besides that, now hopefully the kid's okay. Like,
Sure.
hoping he's fine. It was so hard to follow, and we were there the whole time. I think you guys got there kind of the middle of the first round, but Mark and I were there the whole time. You can't even see a ball land. It was happening so fast. It hit a ball. You'd have to be like, okay, that's a home run. But you can't watch it land because the next swing was happening, and they couldn't keep up on the scoreboard. Or Greg Amsinger, who was doing the MC in the stadium, it would say like 12, and Amsinger's like, well, there's 15, and you're like, well, wait, on the scoreboard it says 12.
Especially Luis Robert.
Yeah, and Luis Robert was like, boom, boom. I mean, it was like fast, swing.
So is this a derby, or is this how quickly can your pitcher throw another pitch, and can you get a quick swing and then just keep
That's
going?
what it is. But I can't
Is
even.
it
I know
speedball?
Yes.
Both.
people were bitching online
Yes.
because the way it was produced, I don't know if that's the right word, directed.
It is, yeah.
Televised, they almost needed like a split screen, like a multiple split screen, and like be like ball one, ball two, ball three, where it ended up, because they would swing, and on TV, there was screens obviously showing the TV broadcast, and you would see a swing, and they try to follow the ball, and then there was already another ball being launched. So there was no way to, like, they used to use, like, the tracer, and you could see the ball. But because of the format, and it's like, hurry up, I got to get as many swings in 3 minutes, they can't keep up. So it was just a nightmare. There's got to be a better format. I like the time format because it doesn't drag it out as much, but there's got to be a way to figure out a timing where there can be a little bit of a break. Plus, that's also why guys are so exhausted from it. Because 3 minutes, when do you swing 3 straight minutes as hard as you can? Never.
I don't know how to do it with timing, but we talked about it yesterday, what our favorite home run derby moments would have been. And it was like Sosa in Milwaukee or something, where you get to watch where it goes. The crowd gets to cheer. There's a moment to appreciate what just happened. Griffey hitting the Utah Street, the brick wall. Like, you get to appreciate how far these guys are hitting the baseballs right there. But like Robert yesterday hits one into the second deck. Before that thing lands, while the kids are on the field watching up there, there's a ball already coming right back.
There's two.
Yeah, two.
By the time that one landed, there was already two more
yeah,
blowing out.
so it's a little dangerous, and it's hard to follow, so I agree with that.
Yeah, at the stadium, I wanted you to go the over 465 so bad for your BetMGM live.
Julio, I didn't make it.
And so for me, I watched Julio swing, and I loved hearing the crowd, and, the MC was really Julio, getting everybody going. All I was able to watch was just the counter, like, oh, that looked like a homer. How far was it? That looked like a homer. I never got to watch the actual apex of it. That's the best part. To me, I think you need targets all over the outfield at these stadiums. See guys hit them. I think you need to have some kind of cool thing where you see the majestic part of the home run, but speed it up.
I've got the solution. I haven't seen this anywhere. I have at least a pathway to a better derby right now. 3 minutes is too much. If we want to still have the speed component, let's cut that down to a minute or two. And then you get, say, 3 or 5 swings, whatever it is, right? And those count for way more. So then we get to stop for a sec and admire dudes blasting balls. And maybe on top of that, it's like if you go 450 plus, you get an extra point. Shit like that. There's no rules. It's the derby. It's not like we're going to look back and be like, oh, no, like this record's going to be weird. You know what I'm saying? Like, try a different format with a little bit of time and a little bit of the old school, let's just see dudes hit rockets 500 feet, because that's your hybrid. And then from there, we can decide if maybe we want to get rid of the clock again and try this, because we have the clock for everything else in life.
Can we stop seeing the stat lines, too, where it's like Vlad Jr. had more in this round than his dad had in the entire derby when he won? Like, it's a completely different format. Mm-hmm. It's just a useless stat that they
You're
keep
right.
throwing
All the derby shit, always when they're like, he did this for the first time with this.
Yeah.
I'm like, but it changes.
Yeah.
I don't care about
Even
that
stadium
stuff at all.
to stadium, it changes.
Yes.
When Stanton's out there, he's going to hit a ball over 500 feet. Nobody hit one farther than 470, I think, yesterday, 472.
Mm-hmm. Didn't Robert hit the farthest one?
470, yeah. I think he did.
It'd be cool to have signs out there, like physical signs that fans can actually kind of see the distances of, to have like little, this 450 right here, 470 here, so you can kind of follow along with distances.
I agree. These are a lot of things that sound like they should be
There should
implemented.
be
of good
the
ideas
target
here.
idea.
Yeah.
Like, put targets out there and put
That's what I mean,
prizes
yeah.
for fans.
Yeah.
Remember?
Oh, that's
like,
good with Kratz's targets.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
take targets and say if somebody hits this, a fan wins, I don't know, whatever you want to give away. Like,
Yeah.
something,
Doesn't matter.
a
You
plane
can-
flight or whatever it is, or $5,000.
You
It
get
put targets-
sponsorships for sure. They would
Oh.
love to have that, but they're afraid of the fans not being able to see. In Norwich, Connecticut, you remember Norwich Navigators? They had a window out in right center, 8th inning of a game, and in the window, it was just a regular standard hung window, and there's a net in there. We used to throw balls at it in BP and everything. Adam Lynn hit one right into it in the 8th inning to put us up by a run. It's supposed to be free windows for your entire house. He didn't get the windows. It was only for the home team, they said. Or like the bull. I
Need
hit
the
the
fine
bull.
print.
I hit the
In
bull
Durham?
in Durham.
Yeah.
I was like, I want my steak.
Home
They
team.
said only home team.
Yeah.
But that stuff's cool. People
Yeah.
know that stuff. And so I think they could have a bunch of stuff.
Here's a
Aaron-
sloppy Joe. Take it or leave it.
Aaron Hill won a suit in rookie ball because there was a sign and it had a target on it. And if you hit it off the sign, hit a triple off the sign, win a brand new suit. Rich get richer.
So, King County used to have a big glove out in right field. The same thing. It was like if you hit it, you win like $100,000, which in A ball was a huge deal. A guy did it for a visiting team. He's running around the bases going, "I won, I'm rich," and they're like, "Oh, sorry, only the home team."
Kentucky Kentucky, Lexington, Kentucky. They have a Maker's Mark bottle out in a parking lot. It's like 550 feet away. And they said if you hit it, you get a year's supply of Maker's Mark. I'm like,
550?
it is so far away.
So who's getting there?
Nobody.
550 is not real.
You couldn't even hit it from second base. But it was like one of those things. In rookie ball, they also had these milk jugs. I forget what the company was. You hit the milk jug, you get like a month's supply of milk. Which we were like, how much is a month's supply of milk? Is that like a gallon? Like, is that 6 gallons?
Crave milk?
Is that what it was?
I'm trying to think of it.
You know what I'm talking about.
I'm
it
trying
was
to
like,
remember
So
it.
you get like 20 bucks of milk?
Yeah.
Wow.
Here's a 2-liter.
Really
Hey,
going for it.
milk's expensive now.
Okay.
Yeah, but you think about how many sponsors MLB could get for giveaway this, giveaway that.
Chick-fil-A,
I mean,
long drive,
yeah.
golf.
Yep.
I mean, you hit this. It's 500 feet. You hit this target, and make them kind of reachable. Don't put, like, now you
Yeah.
put one like 550 feet. That's like, you know, you win
$1 million.
Yeah, something crazy, right?
Yeah.
But make them cool. Make them so people
For the
wanna
boys.
see.
For the boys.
But not
every
not
f-
even for the players. Make it for a fan.
Right.
So then the fan is invested in the derby.
No, I'm thinking about for the boys. Every foul home run, you get a free foul territory shirt.
Foul home run.
Foul home run.
Is there going to be a judge that's going to do that?
Yeah, there's umpires down the line. It's like you get a free next year.
And
All-Star
pretty
game.
soon, like, you know, technology and robots or whatever will take over their job. So that'll be their job. We'll keep you on the field. Let us know when there's a
Yeah.
foul ball home run. Just mark it down. We're giving out T-shirts. But I will say, BS, they owe you a steak.
They do.
Come on, they're better
For
than that.
sure.
Hey, visit CookiePopCandyPop.com. Enter code FOULBALL for 20% off. Russ Dorsey is here. I see him. He's joining us next.
The problem that I see with baseball with these great arms are you either have it or you don't. And if you don't, they shift you right
Yeah.
away to the bullpen. And to me, that is not a valued commodity that you can expect to have under your 6 years of control. You're de-developing greatness is what I call it. So a guy comes up, throws 100, throws 98, has no secondary pitches. There's a role for him. And he's going to eat up 45 to 60 innings, and the next guy's going to do the same thing. But now we wonder, why are there no more studs in the starting rotation? That's why. Because we don't take the time to develop them in the minors and or in the big leagues and let them go. Let them struggle. Like, give them the resources to do these things. It's all about now and win now and plug and place. And I think you're seeing the byproduct of that. When Kershaw, Scherzer, Verlander, Wainwright, maybe throw Cole in there, we don't have any more generational starters that are going to last any longer than those guys did. I mean, you're thinking about a big hole coming if these young guys continue on the trend of injuries, Tommy John, and the next guy up.
Alcantara might carry that torch.
I hope so. And what's the narrative right now with they're going to say, right? They're going to say, "Oh,
Right
look at
now.
what happens." That narrative you cannot pay attention to. Like, if a pitcher goes and does what Alcantara does and he struggles the next year, so what? Let him figure it out. He'll figure out that in the third year he'll get right back to being nasty. But we're so quick to say age appropriate, like old or young, and too much mileage on his arm, he's going to blow out. That's a negative impact, and we're just not looking at the reality of how to, I think, treat starting pitching differently. If we want injuries to go down, 100% you got to treat them differently and expect them to do different things.
FT Live in Seattle, presented by Xbox Game Pass. Braun, Pierzynski, Kratz, Kipnis, Russ Dorsey. How you doing, man?
What's going on, guys?
Good to see you.
Same.
Favorite part of the Derby? Let's start there. We've been ripping it to shreds. What we loved
Okay.
was more in the first block, the first segment, and then what we didn't love just now. I don't know if you caught any of it. Otherwise, we'll get you caught up on like the kind of ADD-ness of how it was tough to pay attention.
I think Adley was awesome, right? Like, I wish that he would been able to move on, but it's kind of luck of the draw being in that 8-seed spot. But being able to flip to the other side of the plate, I think that's something that fans, even as a first round out, are going to remember for a long time, right? That's one of those iconic things. Like, remember when Adley flipped sides of the plate during the Derby? So I think that's a big one. And I think Randy, right? Showman, the ultimate showman. Anytime postseason, WBC, home run derby, he's going to show up. And so for me, those are the kind of the things that stand out about this derby.
His pose is kind of like universally known. It's become a signature. Yeah, even Vladdy Jr. did it when he won, at the end there with
He
Randy.
did it to him, though. He, went up to him and was like,
But it was fun.
it was great. It wasn't, ill-willed at all. That was awesome.
Right.
They kind of walked up, and he was like, yeah, I got
Sign
you.
of respect.
Yeah, it was
Sign of
it was
respect
awesome.
amongst friends. But no, I think from that aspect, I picked Vladdy coming in, and I think the weird part to me was I didn't think he performed that well in the beginning, right? And you thought, okay, is Vladdy going to get beat? He's going to be a first round out. He's able to hold up. He was gassed, but to be able to come out there and win it, first father-son to win the Derby, another great storyline.
Yeah, that was cool. And then on the downside, we were saying, even to your Adley point, not getting pitches fast enough. It's become a speed game, and we think universally it's become too much of a speed game in terms of how it wears the dudes out. You're not seeing their, quote, best swings. Like, you want to see some majestic blasts, 500 feet, whatever, right? And also for the fan experience, both in ballpark and watching it from home, there's so much so quickly. So how do you think it can be fixed? I was throwing out an idea where we lessen it and just do like a minute or two, and then we give them, say, 3 or 5 swings, and those count more. And yes, they might take some pitches, but 3 or 5 swings is not going to kill anyone.
I kind of like the timer, but I do agree, it's almost guys are rushing, and then you get guys more gas where you don't see those majestic shots. So it's 3 minutes, maybe take it to 2, but yeah, I like some swings may count more than others. But I don't know if, it's some type of hybrid, because I think the 10 outs format, I think we kind of realize that that's probably not the best way to do it. But yeah, if you could get a hybrid system where you get the best swings from guys, but also it moves. So you got to adjust. We've been in this system for 6-7 years now. And so as the thing continues to grow and you continue to do it, you're going to find the right balance in between.
I'd like to see a pressure format, because you saw Rosarena. What do you need? 4 to tie, and as soon as he didn't hit the 1, you could see the pressure started mounting. So I'd like to see some type of pressure format where it's you get 4 swings.
That's the original format.
But but without it being
Hear me out.
Maybe you can put a limit on how many takes.
hear me out. Hear me out.
Right?
If you don't hit 10 of them out, we'll call them outs. And you get 10
But it's an
outs.
entertainment thing. It's an entertainment game that they're putting on right there. So you want to see more home runs. So the
You wanna be able to
the
watch
timed
it.
one does work well.
AJ, you said you want the fewer takes.
Maybe you could limit go back to the 10 outs so you can actually watch the ball.
Yeah.
But limit the number of takes. Because remember, guys would hit one, and then they take 5 pitches right down the middle.
Oh, yeah.
And you're like, okay, just swing.
It looked like a
was
high
like,
school
oh,
showcase.
Come on,
And
dude.
And it puts much more of an emphasis on the guy you have throwing to you, where it's hey, man, we can't mess around here.
Yeah.
I need pitches right here in my spot.
I need quality pitches.
Right. I don't need you throwing sliders to me.
Did you see a Rosa? Garcia's
Garcia.
dude threw
Yeah.
sliders
Yeah.
that tried to strike him out
Yeah.
in the first round. It
No,
was
I didn't
awful.
see that.
Paint corners.
It was way
Like
down.
Harper's dad
it was-
one year was throwing cutters almost.
He always throws cutters.
Does he? Okay.
Always throws cutters. It's because he's so jacked. He can't move his.
He can't extend. He can't
He can't
get over
extend.
it.
He's
Was he
he's
throwing
like
cutters
Mark-
in 2018 when he won?
Yeah. But that's
But if
what
you're
like
used
that.
to it and
throws
you've
it.
trained that way or with it,
Yep.
Yeah.
But it's like Pete Alonso's guy, Aaron Myers. He just got signed a contract to be in the Mets bullpen. He was nasty, down and away, just candy pop-ups the whole time. Like, it was
He was
crazy.
trying out for.
He was trying out for the Mets bullpen,
Yeah.
and he's in. He's in. Aaron Myers
But it
just
puts
made a contract.
This format is now a emphasis on the pitcher
Yeah.
more than ever.
Yeah.
Because they have to not only throw it perfect, they have to throw it. It's like
Yeah.
rapid, as fast as I can get the ball and throw it, right? It is rapid fire as it gets. And that's not what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be let everyone see what's happening, let everybody watch the ball and not hurry up. And I don't know. There's got to be a better way. I don't know what it is. We talked about putting targets in the outfield for sponsors, right?
Yeah.
And putting signs, this is how far it is. But then you're going to lose seats, and Major League Baseball wants everyone in the park. So it's like, let's maybe have fans hold up signs, moving
Ooh.
targets or something. I
How
don't know.
about
Something like that.
How about you are the designated? There's 10 designated fans. You're in your different colored jerseys. You have to run around and try to catch fly balls
Counts as more.
in the for your player.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And dudes are like in the stands, so you're running through people trying to catch.
It's
like
never
five-
going to
like
happen. Dudes
500.
will get hurt. It ain't happening. I mean, it sounds cool,
Hey,
but it
you
ain't
win-
happening.
What they do? Like you win, like it used to be like the real estate.
Yeah,
like,
you used to win a house.
That's what I mean. You be hurting people. You be diving over seats. I would love to see it. Julio's out there trying to hit to a Mariners fan. Like that's not necessarily
They have a
like
plan to where the guy runs to the right center on like the third swing, and Julio goes that way to deke him.
no. He's not playing against.
It's like a post
him.
route.
They're playing.
That's what I'm saying. He's trying to hit it to his guy.
I got you.
He's like a quarterback with the baseball.
I don't know, Russ, maybe you have a better idea because we obviously are.
Our ideas aren't great yet.
Just don't
we
have,
obviously
just
don't
don't
know
have
what
the
we're talking
All-Star
about.
game in Chicago. That's the only thing we can't with
That's
you
hate.
two guys.
Hey, man.
Just you two guys. We can't have that.
There's got to be. I mean, there's got to be a better. I mean, everyone is brainstormed the same.
Yeah.
I'm sure MLB has brainstormed the
They haven't.
shit out of this thing.
They just react.
No, they're not.
They just react. They're
Well,
not
they
pro.
changed it
Literally
from 10 outs
waiting
time,
for us to
everyone's
put
like, oh, we
something
love
out
the
there, and then
timer.
they're gonna make
But
it
now
like
as
they did
that's
it.
kind of adjusted, the players have adjusted to that.
Right.
Now we get the product we saw yesterday, which was still great. It was fun. It was awesome. Because, like, at the end, Rosarena needed to hit. He had the 30 seconds. He's like, all right, I need to hit 4. And he struggled because, like you said, pressure. So there's got to be a happy medium, I feel like, in between the two.
I gave it to you.
10 outs.
It's timer plus swings.
I don't know.
They,
What, you
they
don't
got
like that?
Not lucky, but it worked out so well for them the first year or two. Whereas, like, I think Frazier was one of the first years where there were buzzer beaters to advance. There were Harper.
at the end, yeah.
So they're like, this is amazing. This is perfect. Comes down to the wire. But now it's like you're kind of seeing some of the downsides to it.
My thing, though, better than buzzer beater, especially because it's just so fast, is if you're at that point where it's, okay, now he's got his 3 swings, and each one counts as 3, and if he hits 450 plus on any of them, it's 5.
After the clock hits 0, you
Yes,
get 3
and
money
those
balls.
3 swings,
So
it's
it's like money balls?
Money
You get, like,
balls.
the
he's
money
down,
balls and the
he's down
three-point?
10, but he can make up for that right now if he hits
With no
2
time.
bombs.
Now we're getting
450
somewhere.
plus.
I like the idea of a
Yeah.
money
That
ball.
would be because then you're building up anticipation and
Well,
all that.
Or how about, like, if you did something like where you have, like, remember they used to have the gold balls? They have
That's
the
what I'm
pink
thinking
balls
of.
for T-Mobile?
I was like, did they already do that?
You say you're down. Say you're Pete Alonso and you're down and you get 3 swings and you can wager. All right, I
was
want.
just-
And
that's
then
where I
at
was
the end,
going
it's
too.
like this one's for 40, and he hits it. And but you only get 1 pitch. It's got to
But
be
do you
1
lose
pitch. and
40
one
if
swing.
you don't get it out.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're just out.
It's a wager.
Pete Alonso, the least amount of home runs.
-3, a winner.
Minus
today.
200. Right, but think about it. If you're like, okay, you get 1 ball
Right.
and you can catch up, and he gets 1
Right.
swing.
This ball is worth 10
Yeah.
homers.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yes, that's
Double or
awesome.
nothing.
Jeopardy.
That's like 3-point
Double jeopardy.
contest.
Yeah.
The last basketball on each rack, right? Isn't it worth 2 or 3?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that. Let's spin it to the All-Star game. So first question for you, and we have a picture that you took yesterday. Will Shohei Ohtani be able to get through the sea of fans and reporters to actually get into the ballpark to be a DH today?
It's a great question. It's one of my favorite things about watching the superstardom of Shohei Ohtani is just the following that he brings, right? The aura that he has around people where it's just like, man, Shohei's here because you're going to see 150 people walking in before he ever walks in. And he's become a guy that's almost transcended the sport. Not almost. He has transcended the sport in a lot of ways, like similar to like what LeBron does in basketball, like what Tiger did in golf, where there are people who don't watch baseball at all who know who Shohei Ohtani is, right? On the cover of GQ, and that's so great for the sport. At the same time, he's almost like a rock star because he's going to have this following of people around him, the reporters who are here in the States here to cover him, the reporters from Japan who are here to cover him, and their only job is covering one guy, not the Angels. It's to cover Shohei Ohtani. And I think that's really cool in seeing how the sport has grown and seeing how this guy has come over here and changed baseball in a lot of ways.
That's not almost like a rock star. That's a rock star.
Exactly.
The thing about Shohei, though, is nobody knows him because he doesn't really do interviews.
He learned that from Trout. That's
You never Trout
Yeah,
came
I said
off
that
out
Trout
there.
Trout- Ronnie broke that
Trout's
mold for us.
changed now.
Trout's
though.
different now.
I said that to somebody yesterday. Like, in the last year, you've seen Mike Trout talk more than you saw in the first.
You want to
2
know
years.
why?
Yep.
Why?
Shohei.
What?
Listen,
Ooh,
I don't know this for a fact.
I'm all ears
The
right
tea?
now.
No, I don't know this. Again, I don't. Yes, you guys. Shohei, Mike Trout was always the best player.
Right.
Shohei's taking that from him. So now Trout's thinking, I got to get myself out there a little bit and kind of take the mantle back. Not on a jealousy level, but if you think about it, because Trout never did anything.
No.
Now you see him doing video games, you see him doing commercials.
You always thought he was leaving like hundreds of millions on the
Hundreds of
table.
millions of dollars. But now Shohei's everywhere.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you somebody in Trout's camp said, hey, man, you're going to have to get back out there a little bit because he's taking, even in Anaheim, he's taking all your thunder.
You think Trout cares about that?
Trout might not, but his people do.
Yeah.
Are you
Okay.
saying he's doing it for the boys, or you're saying he's doing it because his people are like?
You're not the face anymore.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Because he
yeah.
was the face.
He was the face,
You know,
but
you've been the
with
best
a
player
hidden
in the
face.
league for years.
Right.
Right?
There's
He was
also
Not
a
even the
difference.
one on your team.
There's no whispering. I can't hear you guys.
We're
There's
still gossiping over AJ.
Now it's about you, Scott.
You believe him.
Oh,
fetch.
so handsome.
I think there's a difference between with what you're saying, doing commercials and endorsement deals and marketing, right, which Ohtani's doing, and doing interviews and having more candid conversations, which Trout's doing that now.
But it
He's
leads,
opening
one
up.
thing leads to the other.
Yes.
For me.
Yeah,
right?
I
If
agree.
he has more candid conversations, more
Yes.
people are like, oh, man, Mike Trout is not as recluse as we thought he was. He's actually kind of funny, and he does have a personality, which he does. If you've ever talked to him, he actually does. But nobody outside of Anaheim or very select people know Mike Trout other than what you see on TV, which is nothing
I think
for
all
years.
you know about him is that he's an Eagles fan for the last.
And he loves weather.
And he likes weather.
Yeah.
But his FT Live interview was great.
Yeah.
Like he opened up and there was no cookie cutter vanilla bullshit answers.
Because
which
he's just
is-
hanging out with the boys.
Right.
And I don't think we enable – there's something for Shohei. Like you saw the throngs of media, majority Japanese media, but I'm sure if you could get closer, it would have been American media. Shohei has something, and that's where I think baseball, not to use a pun, but swings and misses in selling their athletes, because we play every single day. It's so much easier to let who you are out. But baseball doesn't allow that because they're like, they're just stuck in this mold of a certain, what you have to do this certain thing. And like what you saw Mike come on our show the other day, we had crappy connection, and the dude was just, he was talking about golf. He was talking about how, he loves his son being out on the field. He was asking us, like, how fast were the fastballs when you first got up there? Like
he said it was getting out of control with the
It's getting
velo.
out of control.
He talked about when he'll play in the Derby. His son will force
Wants
him
to see him.
eventually. And the Ohtani conversation. You ask Trout that even last year, like, hey, how are you going to keep Ohtani? Be like, it's on the front office, man. We'll see what they can do. This time he was like, it's on me. I'm talking to him. We got to win. He's going to get paid anyway, so he's looking for wins. Like, he was getting into it. I'm like, let's go. That's what you want. My other thing is, I think the modern superstar needs to open up like that. Ohtani's doing something that no one else is doing, but even for Trout, like, you're just an incredible ball player. We want to know more about
Good
you.
for the game.
Jeter was a face for a while, but he never said anything.
The best player
And the modern
in the game,
fan wants more
The best
out of
player in
you.
the game of baseball should not be more unrecognizable than football players who wear helmets while they play. You could, like, Trout could walk down and you might not recognize him, but a football player walks down that you know well, and you're going to know his face better, and he wears a helmet the entire time.
Granted, though, they're one difference. Football players are huge.
True.
Right? So
True.
it's easier for baseball players to blend in because
That's true.
most baseball players are normal-sized human beings. Not football players
wouldn't be able to
are
tell.
6'6".
Yeah.
Even
That's a good point.
quarterbacks
That's a
are
good point.
huge, and the quarterbacks are really who people recognize. They don't recognize the offensive lineman other than, oh, that dude's gigantic. The dude at the party last night that was
we were
8'7",
talking
he's
about-
like, who the heck's that guy? We don't know, but he's got to be somebody. He's 7'8" or whatever he was.
You cover all sports. Like, you do a show with all sports. Help us out.
I think for me, like, covering baseball for so long and seeing when you guys played, the guys who you could always go to for the quote.
Yeah.
Right? Every reporter has that guy's like, this guy has something interesting to say. And it's not always going to be the best player either, because I think everybody's not comfortable, right? You can know that, all right, this is good for my brand. This will be good for me in the long run. When I'm done playing, like, I can do something like Foul Territory where people will want to talk to me and I'll love to talk to guys. But until you're comfortable with that, you can't. And you're not going to be able to force somebody to do that. So for Mike, for a long time, maybe he just wasn't comfortable being in the spotlight. Everybody knows that kid who was the best player on every team in every sport, but they didn't really like to talk about it, or they weren't really that out in front of everybody person. And maybe at this point in his life where you're married, you have a kid, you settled, you got all the money in the world, now you feel more comfortable opening up to people about who you are as the guy who was the best player in the world for so long.
And sometimes they don't speak English.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's a
In this
percentage.
sport, it happens.
27%, I think, this year are from outside of the United
Yeah.
States. So that's a big thing. But you see it in other sports. What in other sports would you point to as like, his personality? Like, why was Kevin Durant in Oklahoma City the highest Q-rated athlete in the United States? Like, if we had a baseball team in Oklahoma City that, besides AAA, the baseball player there wouldn't be the highest Q rating. So
What's
what is
Q rating again?
like your
Popularity.
Basically.
I mean, you can play off this, but for NBA, they sell drama. Like Damian Lillard situation right now. Anything that pops up, we have the same drama. We don't sell it as much. We're trying to do
it's
that.
reality TV
Yes.
in basketball, right? Whereas in baseball, it's not as much.
but do you cover it differently? You know what I mean?
Well,
like, as far as
because
if
me
you
as
cover
a
basketball.
baseball guy,
Right.
I just think that social media has changed those sports more than any other, like basketball and football. Whereas baseball, it's more of a surprise when a guy is good in the media and has his socials popping and has a YouTube. Like Julio Rodriguez, from the time he was like 18 years old, had this YouTube channel and he was bilingual, and then all of a sudden everybody wants to put him on the cover of everything. It's no real surprise because that was a kid from the time he was young when he was a prospect was like, no, I want to do this. And his brand has grown so much here in Seattle where people in this city want to build with him. People around the country want to build with him. And until you get more guys that are comfortable doing that, and I think you're starting to see growth in that area with guys like really going in on their socials and, all right, I'm going to start a YouTube. And Mookie Betts for a long time was the same way. Mookie was more of a quiet guy.
Yeah.
Now he has this podcast, and now he's doing interviews with guys. So I think you're starting to see guys realize this can help me in the long run in the next 10 years or so if I can be comfortable with this, because I know this will be good for not only me right now as a player, branding myself, but in the long run when I'm done.
We're tight on time. Just give me AL or NL. Who's winning?
NL.
NL? Gotcha. Okay, we're going to go over our picks. Russ, great to see you, dude. Have
Thank
fun
you
at the
guys.
game later. Appreciate you. We'll be right back on Stadium with our picks for tonight's All-Star game.
And now, some scenes from yesterday's Home Run Derby.
And now back to foul territory.
What's good? Back on Stadium. Braun, Pierzynski, Kratz, Kipnis, your foul territory live takeover in Seattle as we continue for the next couple hours, finishing up for about 5 minutes here on Stadium. Then we'll flip it over to our foul territory YouTube channel for the rest of the day. Keep staying active in the chat and all that too. And we are presented by Xbox Game Pass today. It is time. First off, I want to just, we don't have to close the poll, but just give you an update for MVP tonight. Ohtani leading in the poll by quite a large margin.
Nope.
You're shaking your head. He's not pitching.
Yeah,
so that hurts him,
Acuna.
I'm saying, for MVP.
What?
Acuna? I like Acuna too.
He has a blister.
My finger hurts.
I mean, you guys
I got
aren't
Acuna,
pitchers.
you know why?
I'm sure it sucks to pitch with a blister.
Yeah.
Here's why I have Acuna winning. Garrett Cole's pitching for the AL. Acuna's leading off. Guess what Garrett Cole's not going to come out and do?
He's not
going to go flipping breaking balls. He's going to say, here's 100, and Acuna's going to be cheating his ass
And he's
off.
going to be like, thanks.
And he's going to
I don't miss those.
Here's the thing.
Think he's going to homer in the first
I'm not saying he's going to homer, but
it's-
if he gets on base, then he'll steal second, he'll steal third.
Yep.
So there's just so many things that Acuna can do.
And if you're not going to play the full game, when someone can do all those things early on or in that one at bat, that's how Acuna has the lead. For
Yep.
me, too. I have him as MVP.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why I just think
I'm with
because
you.
he can do so many things.
I got Freeman. I got the other one.
Freddie Freeman?
Because I got him
Okay.
getting on top of that first pitch heater, stealing second base, and Freeman going.
Oh, they said Freeman stealing second base.
Yeah.
No. Acuna
He is
getting
fast
on-
Freddy.
Yeah.
He is fast Freddy.
No, I'm leaning on Acuna doing something awesome, and then Freeman taking advantage and getting about 2 or 3 steaks tonight, and all of a sudden, oh wait, boring 4-3 game. Oh, I guess Freeman's the MVP. Appreciation
Exactly.
station.
Let's hit some locks, okay? Your BetMGM locks. Quick look back. Derby. Polar Bear Pete lost in the first round to Julio. That knocked AJ. I got knocked by Julio somehow not going over 465.5. Damn timer screwed me. Vlad won the first round, so you guys nailed it. Good job. That's
Everything
a dub.
is awesome.
Money bags. I'll just say it like I do every show. Follow us to glory. We're all up. That's real. We
Do you have
take
hair?
receipts every day from day one of the season. And your BetMGM locks for the 2023 MLB All-Star Game. I think we all went. Did we all go with the same pick? We did.
We all go
it's gonna
NL?
make it real easy. We all went NL money line.
We don't share them before, too, so that's
No, we
That's
never share them,
crazy.
and that's why it's real. It's not bullshit television.
And Russ
where
said NL wins too.
he said NL wins, which probably means the AL is going to win.
Yeah,
And we're getting
It's even money.
Yeah, but we're getting
basically.
at minus
It's
110.
minus 110.
But doesn't the AL hasn't the
AL's been dominating.
What's their
right?
streak? It's been like
Yeah.
over the last like 20 years. It's
And
been
that's
crazy.
maybe
Oh,
that's
it's-
putting something into the
It's like
numbers.
16
and
and 4.
it's a home game for them. The pitching is pretty close because also you're missing some dudes on the NL side like a Kershaw, Strider. But lineup wise, I mean, I'm just going off what I can look at the beginning of the game. I'm like, the NL lineup is better. I think some of those Braves guys want to show just how damn good they are. I think the Dodgers guys have been there a while. I could see them getting some early offense.
But if the AL does scrape some runs ahead of them, those bullpen guys they got over there from Baltimore and Twins and all those hard throwers, they're going to be tough to come back on.
It's a bullpen game. I don't really care that Kershaw's not in it. Like, I don't know. Like, a guy like that might get hit in this game. Cole, you guys talked about it, might get hit. This bullpen guys come in. It is.
That's
Yeah,
gonna
but
be-
it's not
that's
like
gonna be-
both teams have bullpen. It's not like
That's what I mean. That's
It's
why
not like you're
I
like,
was thinking
oh, the
of,
AL's better than the. I mean,
I was
both
thinking of
dudes-
going
both
the
teams are
over,
stupid.
and I couldn't see a scenario where they score more than 7 runs. So I thought about the under, and I didn't like the number. So that's why I went.
Clean sweep.
Boring. Thank you, Claudia.
We've never had that. But I do like to reiterate because I've done plenty of TV in life where you sit and we're talking before and they go, oh, you're picking that, so I'm going to pick the other thing. Like, no. This is real money.
I was
You
just
think
going to
the
say,
NL 's going
anybody
to
would
win.
anybody like to change their pick?
Hell no.
Hell
No.
no.
For the AL, you're saying?
Or just
Or
another
something
lock,
else?
another lock of the day.
Nah. Also, make sure
What
you
we got
check
here?
out the Lions Boost in the BetMGM Sportsbook app today. 1+ total runs scored in the first inning. It was plus a hundo. Now it's plus 120. I'm into it. Which way you going? A run in the first?
More than one run?
I'm going up, obviously. I just
Yeah.
said
Dude,
it
one
couldn't.
or more.
Plus
One
120
run.
means
Like,
less
it's
likely.
a Yurfie.
Means it's less likely to.
Only
Right.
one run
Well,
has
they
to be, though,
boosted
right?
it so that
Yeah.
Only one run
it's
has to be
playable
scored,
at
right?
plus
Yeah.
120.
One
Yes.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
taking over. I just
Yeah.
said Acuna
Yeah.
is going to get on steal second
Yep.
and third. And
All right,
Kratz
so-
is in because he said Freddie Freeze is going to drive him in.
So
Free.
let's hit that. And
Free
hey,
Acuna.
the bonus bet offer is up there for you, so make sure you check that out. The free-to-play game for your chance to win a $20 bonus bet every single day. It runs until September 7th. Be a batter, pick an area of the zone. Depending on the area of the zone, you get a single, double, triple, or home run or pop out. Receive the prize associated with that type of hit. You can play once a day. Prizing must be used on MLB and expires in 24 hours. If you log into the BetMGM Sportsbook app on iOS or Android, you can get involved. Gambling problem or concern? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. That's it for us on Stadium. 2 more hours on FT's YouTube channel. See you on there.